Bonjour et bienvenue. In this video, we are going to discuss about these two important verbs, connaître and savoir. And interestingly, these two verbs has the same meaning to know, but has different uses. So in this video, I'm going to tell you how and when we can use these two verbs in a given sentence. And apart with this, I will let you know some tricks and techniques to remember how to use these two verbs in a given sentence or in a paragraph. So without much delay, here we go. So now let's begin with the verb savoir, which means to know. But it is different from that of connaître, which also means to know. So here savoir means when you know about some general fact or information. When you know about some general fact or information. Like for example, elle sait la date de mon anniversaire. Elle sait la date de mon anniversaire. She knows the date of my birthday. She knows my birthday date. So it's the general information or a general fact about my birthday date which she knows. So it is a general fact. So that's why we have used savoir here. So savoir is used when you know about any fact or information. Okay. Second is savoir is used when you know something through the mind, when you are learning something. Like, savez-vous votre leçon? Savez-vous votre leçon? Do you know about your lesson? So it's about the learning process. Savez-vous votre leçon? Again, there is a third example which is linked about the general fact or information. Vous savez où il habite? Vous savez où il habite? Do you know where does she live? So it's again about a general information about where does she live exactly. So it's a general fact or an information. That's why we have used savoir. So savoir is to be used when we are referring to any general fact or information, or when we are knowing something, or when we are in a uh, learning means process. Okay. Okay, so now let's begin with this verb connaître. So connaître means to be acquainted with a person or a place or a thing. It has a larger meaning than that of the verb savoir. So connaître also meaning to know, but it is not about any general fact or information. When you are quite familiar with or acquainted with a particular person, place, or a thing, when you know that person, place, or thing fully, then you have to use connaître. Like for example, je connais cet homme. I know about this man. I'm quite familiar with this man. Then you have to use the verb connaître, because homme here you are referring to a person. You are familiar with this person. Je connais cet homme. Second, vous connaissez la rue de Champs-Élysées? Do you know about the road or the street of Champs-Élysées? Champs-Élysées is a famous street or a road of the city of like Paris. It's like what we can say in India is MG Road or the Rajpath in Delhi. Vous connaissez la rue de Champs-Élysées? Do you know about the street or the road of Champs-Élysées? So Champs-Élysées is a particular, you are referring to a particular place. So connaître must be used when we are familiar or acquainted with a particular person, place, or a thing. Some tricks and techniques to remember how to use savoir and connaître. So here we go. So the first trick uh, linked with this verb connaître must be followed by a noun. Okay, so connaître must be followed by a noun, not a verb. Savoir is to be followed by either a verb or any interrogative word like où, como, con, etc. So any interrogative words That means WH family words are being used in a sentence. So there is a hint that you have to use savoir, not connaître. Savoir must be followed by a noun. Savoir must be followed by either a verb or any interrogative word or a WH family word. So let's focus on the example which we discussed about the tricks and the techniques about the connaître. So connaître must be followed by a noun. Il connaît Paris. Il connaît Paris. He is familiar with or he knows Paris. So first of all, uh, means like Paris is a particular place. So that's why you are using connaître. So connaître must be followed by a noun, which I told you earlier. So connaître must be followed by a noun. But savoir must be followed by a verb. Second, je ne sais pas écrire en chinois. Je ne sais pas écrire en chinois. I don't know how to write in Chinese. I don't know how to write in Chinese. So savoir is followed by another verb, écrire. Okay, not a noun. So it's a trick to remember. Savoir must be followed by a verb. And the second thing which I told you in the beginning of the video, that savoir is used when you are in the learning process. So here I don't know how to write. So it's a learning medium, learning process through mind. Now the next is je sais quand il arrive. Je sais quand il arrive. I know when he arrives or he will arrive. I know when he will arrive. Here savoir is followed by interrogative word, WH family word, quand. Je sais quand il arrive. I know when he will arrive. Okay. Second, vous savez où il habite. Do you know where does she? Sorry, do you know where does he live? Do you know where does he live? Sorry, I forgot to put up the question mark. Vous savez where does he live? Do you know where does he live? Or you can use this sentence in the affirmative as well without the question mark. You know where does he live? Okay. So here savoir is followed by, you can say, another interrogative word, où. Où means where. Do you know where does he live? That's all for this video. If you like this video, so please do share it with French language learners and do subscribe the channel as well. So hope to see you soon in my next video. Till then, take care. Au revoir.